The moment when power dynamics in women's basketball shift can change everything in an instant. That's exactly what has the WNBA world buzzing, as tensions between established coaching authority and rising superstar influence reach a boiling point that nobody saw coming. Cheryl Reeve, one of the most respected coaches in women's basketball history, finds herself at the center of a controversy that threatens to expose the complex relationships between veteran leadership and the new generation of players who are transforming the sport. But what could drive such a dramatic confrontation between a championship-winning coach and the league's biggest star? The implications of this power struggle extend far beyond individual personalities to potentially reshape how the WNBA manages its most high-profile events and navigates the delicate balance between player empowerment and coaching authority. The WNBA All-Star Game represents one of the league's most prestigious events, showcasing the best talent from across the league in a celebration of women's basketball excellence. The event involves complex logistics, player selection processes, and coaching assignments that require coordination between league officials, team management, and player representatives. Cheryl Reeve has established herself as one of the most successful coaches in WNBA history during her tenure with the Minnesota Lynx. Since taking over the team in 2010, she has led the Lynx to 4 WNBA championships and has been recognized as WNBA Coach of the Year multiple times. Her success has made her one of the most respected voices in women's basketball. Reeve's coaching philosophy emphasizes team basketball, defensive intensity, and player development. She has been instrumental in developing numerous all-star players throughout her career and has earned recognition for her ability to maximize team performance through strategic coaching and player motivation. The relationship between coaches and star players in professional basketball involves complex dynamics that can affect team chemistry, organizational decision-making, and broader league relationships. These relationships become particularly important during all-star events where multiple coaches and players from different teams must collaborate. Questions arise about what circumstances might create tension between coaching authority and player influence, particularly when star players like Caitlin Clark possess significant leverage due to their impact on league popularity and commercial success. Caitlin Clark's 2024 rookie season has fundamentally transformed the WNBA landscape, bringing unprecedented attention, attendance, and commercial success to women's professional basketball. Her influence extends beyond individual performance to include impact on league policies, event planning, and the broader cultural conversation about women's sports. Clark's statistical achievements during her rookie campaign include averaging 19.2 points and 8.4 assists per game, while leading the Indiana Fever to their first playoff appearance since 2016. Her performance earned her WNBA Rookie of the Year honors and demonstrated immediate impact at the professional level. The commercial success generated by Clark's presence has been historic, with television viewership for games featuring her regularly exceeding 1 million viewers and consistently selling out arenas that previously struggled with attendance. This commercial impact has given Clark significant influence within league decision-making processes. Her selection for the 2024 WNBA All-Star Game was automatic based on her performance and fan popularity. The event featuring Clark drew record television audiences and generated unprecedented media coverage for the WNBA All-Star festivities. The implications of Clark's influence on league events and decision-making processes could suggest that traditional power structures within women's basketball are evolving as player empowerment and commercial success create new dynamics between athletes and organizational leadership. The All-Star Game coaching selection process traditionally involves league officials choosing experienced coaches who have demonstrated success at the highest levels of professional basketball. This selection process considers factors including coaching record, player development success, and ability to manage diverse groups of elite athletes. Coaching assignments for all-star events require different skills than regular season coaching, as coaches must quickly build chemistry among players from different teams, while creating entertaining basketball that showcases individual talents within a team framework. The responsibilities of all-star coaches extend beyond game strategy to include media obligations, player management during a celebratory event, and representing the league in high-profile situations that receive significant media coverage and public attention. Previous all-star coaches have typically been veteran leaders who command respect from players across the league and can effectively manage the personalities and egos that come with coaching collections of elite athletes from different team cultures. Sports analysts wonder whether the increasing influence of star players in league decision-making might affect how coaching assignments are made, and whether player preferences could influence traditional selection processes for high-profile events. The concept of player empowerment in professional sports has evolved significantly in recent years, with elite athletes increasingly taking active roles in decisions that affect their careers and the organizations they represent. This trend has affected all major professional sports leagues. In the WNBA, player empowerment has been particularly important as the league has grown and star players have gained influence through social media, endorsement deals, and their ability to generate media attention and commercial success for the league. The limited number of teams and roster spots in the WNBA creates unique dynamics, where star players can have outsized influence on league policies and event planning compared to athletes in larger professional sports leagues. Clark's rapid rise to superstardom and her unprecedented impact on league popularity has given her a level of influence that few WNBA players have historically possessed. This influence extends to various aspects of league operations and event planning. Questions arise about how the WNBA balances traditional organizational structures with the increased influence of star players, who generate significant commercial value and media attention for the league. The business implications of star player influence in professional sports include considerations about marketing strategies, event planning, and the balance between individual player brands and league-wide success. These factors become particularly important during high-profile events like All-Star Games. The WNBA's commercial success has become increasingly dependent on star power and the ability of elite players to generate media attention and fan engagement. This dependency creates leverage for players who can significantly impact league revenues and popularity. Corporate sponsors and media partners often prefer to work with events and personalities that generate positive attention and align with their marketing objectives. The preferences of star players can influence these commercial relationships and affect decision-making processes. The precedent established by player influence in coaching selections and event planning could affect how other professional sports leagues approach similar situations, and whether athlete empowerment continues to expand in various organizational contexts. Sports business experts note that the balance between player empowerment and organizational authority requires careful management to ensure that commercial success doesn't compromise competitive integrity or appropriate professional relationships. The coaching community within women's basketball includes numerous veteran leaders who have dedicated their careers to developing players and building successful programs. This community has established traditions and professional relationships that extend beyond individual team affiliations. Cheryl Reeve's reputation within the coaching community reflects her success in developing championship-level teams and her contributions to advancing women's basketball through player development and strategic innovation. The relationship between coaches and the broader basketball community includes mentorship roles, professional development opportunities, and collaborative efforts to advance the sport at all levels from youth programs through professional leagues. Disruptions to traditional coaching relationships and selection processes could affect the professional development pipeline and the stability of relationships that support the growth and advancement of women's basketball. The implications of changing power dynamics between players and coaches could influence how young coaches approach their career development and whether traditional pathways to coaching success remain viable in an era of increased player influence. The role of veteran leadership in professional sports extends beyond individual coaching assignments to include mentorship, institutional knowledge, and the preservation of professional standards that maintain competitive integrity and appropriate organizational relationships. Veteran coaches like Cheryl Reeve have historically served as stabilizing influences who help maintain professional standards and provide continuity during periods of change and evolution within professional sports leagues. Questions arise about how the WNBA maintains the benefits of veteran leadership while adapting to increased player empowerment and the changing dynamics that come with rapid commercial growth and evolving fan expectations. The balance between respecting established coaching expertise and accommodating player preferences requires careful navigation to ensure that both individual and organizational interests are served effectively. The media coverage of conflicts between coaches and players often extends beyond sports journalism to include broader discussions about workplace dynamics, professional relationships, and the appropriate balance of power in organizational settings. The intersection of sports and entertainment media means that incidents involving high-profile coaches and star players can generate coverage across multiple media platforms and reach audiences that extend beyond traditional basketball fans. Social media amplifies these stories and allows for immediate public reaction and commentary that can influence how conflicts are perceived and resolved. The viral nature of social media content can escalate situations beyond their original scope. The precedent established by how media covers coach-player conflicts can influence future relationships and affect how similar situations are handled by league officials and organizational leaders. Questions arise about how media coverage affects the ability of coaches and players to resolve conflicts privately, and whether public attention creates additional pressures that complicate professional relationship management. The fan community response to conflicts between coaches and players often reflects broader attitudes about authority, respect, and the appropriate balance of power in professional sports organizations. Different segments of the fan base may have varying perspectives on player empowerment versus coaching authority, with some supporting increased player influence while others prefer traditional organizational structures. The loyalty that fans feel towards specific players or coaches can influence how they perceive conflicts, and whether they view certain actions as appropriate or problematic within professional sports contexts. Social media engagement around these conflicts can generate significant discussion and debate that affects public perception of both the individuals involved and the league's handling of the situation. The resolution of high-profile conflicts between coaches and players often influences fan confidence in league leadership and affects perceptions of organizational competence and professionalism. The psychological dynamics of professional sports relationships include complex interactions between authority figures, elite athletes, and the pressures created by high-stakes competition and public scrutiny. The transition from traditional coaching authority to increased player empowerment creates new challenges for managing professional relationships and maintaining appropriate boundaries between personal and professional interactions. Elite athletes often possess strong personalities and high levels of confidence that can create tension with coaching authority, particularly when players feel their input and preferences are not adequately considered in decision-making processes. The unique pressures of professional sports, including media attention, fan expectations, and commercial considerations, can amplify normal workplace relationship challenges and create situations that require specialized management approaches. Sports psychologists note that successful professional relationships in elite athletics require mutual respect, clear communication, and understanding of the different perspectives and pressures faced by coaches and players. The broader implications for women's sports leadership include questions about how the industry adapts to changing power dynamics while maintaining the professional standards and relationships that support continued growth and success. The evolution of player empowerment in women's sports reflects broader societal changes regarding workplace authority, professional autonomy, and the balance between individual and organizational interests. The precedent established by how women's sports leagues handle conflicts between coaches and players could influence similar situations in other professional contexts and affect the development of leadership models in various industries. The success of women's sports in navigating these challenges while maintaining competitive integrity and professional standards could serve as a model for other organizations facing similar transitions in authority structures and power dynamics. Questions arise about whether the increased visibility and commercial success of women's sports creates additional pressures on professional relationships, and whether these pressures require new approaches to conflict resolution and relationship management. Looking toward the future, the relationship between coaching authority and player empowerment in women's basketball will likely continue evolving as the sport grows in popularity, and commercial success creates new opportunities and challenges for all participants. The resolution of current conflicts and the precedents established by league leadership will influence how future generations of coaches and players approach their professional relationships and navigate the complex dynamics of elite athletic competition. The broader implications for the WNBA include questions about how the league maintains competitive integrity and professional standards while adapting to the changing dynamics created by increased player influence and commercial success. The success of women's basketball in managing these transitions will likely influence how other professional sports leagues approach similar challenges, and whether new models for player-coach relationships emerge in various athletic contexts. Sports analysts wonder whether the current period represents a temporary adjustment phase or a fundamental shift in how professional sports organizations balance authority, empowerment, and the various interests of players, coaches, and league officials. If you're as shocked by these behind-the-scenes power struggles as we are, go ahead and like this video. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think star players should have more influence in coaching decisions, or should traditional coaching authority be maintained? How do you balance player empowerment with respect for veteran leadership in professional sports? We want to hear your perspective on how women's basketball should navigate these complex relationship dynamics. Then, hit subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss our coverage of WNBA drama and the evolving landscape of women's professional sports. Thanks for watching.